Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, has described the former governor of Rivers State, Peter Odili, as a general overseer who has turned the state into his personal estate. Wike said Odili made sure his wife and 2 daughters held high-level positions in the state. The minister was reacting to Odili's remarks that Governor Sim Fubara stopped him from making Rivers State his personal estate. Odili, in his remarks, said Fubara summoned unusual fortitude to confront Wike's quest of capturing the state through ferocious but unnecessary political war. And in response, Wike said, "Between him and myself, who has turned Rivers State to his personal estate? His wife is a chairman of governing council, his daughter is a commissioner, his other daughter is a judge, and he is the general overseer. Who has not turned Rivers State to his private estate? I am sure if care is not taken, if there is any chance, he can even arrange a marriage for the governor. It was his nephew, his late senior brother's son, that was recommended for commissioner. Odili took the slot and gave it to his daughter." Wike continues to say, "Someone who didn't remember to stand for the son of his late elder brother, is that an elder statesman?" Speaking further, the FCT minister said it was painful that Dr. Odili, out of political sycophancy, has forgotten all that he said in the past, adding that all of you here remembered when I was governor. This same Odili praised me to high heaven. In fact, he said that all the past governors in Rivers State combined did not do better than me. In 2007, after he left office, he couldn't come near the power in the state because Amechi was the governor then. He was gone. Like somebody said, that God will use someone to lift up someone. When I came in as a governor in 2015, I won't use the word resurrected, but I brought him back to life. All of us know about Pamo University, but for us, there wouldn't have been anything called Pamo University. Rivers State was sponsoring 100 students per session, and for every semester, each of the students was paying nothing less than 5 million naira. Then Rivers people were attacking me up and down. I personally called Julius Berger to build a mansion for him to live. He was calling everyone to the house then, telling them, "Come and see what Wike has done for me. Wike has shown me love." He was taking me round the house. He was taking them round the house. Now, because you have organized a Christmas carol for the governor, I didn't say you should not do your Christmas carol, but why reduce yourself to such a laughingstock? People will still see it on television, how he was telling the whole world then how God used me to bring him back to life politically. Why not do your Christmas carol, collect what you want to collect, and leave me alone? Wike continues to say, "The governor that all of us has not spent 1 year in office, and the same Odili was already saying that the governor has beaten the records of all the past governors of Rivers State. When I was there, he said I had surpassed the records of all the past governors, including himself. What can he even show that he did in his 8 years as governor? But a governor has not spent 1 year. You're saying he has done more than all the governors in the past. You spent 8 years as governor, and someone who hasn't spent 1 year has surpassed your records. What manner of elder talks like that? Is that what an elder statesman should be known for? When I was governor, my pictures were everywhere in Odili's house. Sitting room, bedroom, kitchen, even the toilet, my picture was everywhere. But today, all my pictures have been removed." Asking what can be learned from such a sycophantic leader, elder statesman, Wike said, "What can I learn from this kind of elder? What kind of advice can one get from him? This moment you're saying something, the next moment you're saying something else. You see, if your children begin to ask you, is this not the same man you were praising before, what would you tell them?" On the state governorship issue, the minister asked, "When I was plotting who will be governor after me, was Odili there?" Then he was complaining about this governor, saying that he couldn't stand before the public to talk. But today he is organizing Christmas carol for the same governor he was against then. He has forgotten all that he said in the past. "I named this after you. I named that after your wife. What have I not done? He said, Wike said, you said we should not be part of the government. We have left. We are managing. You have taken assembly money. They are not dying of hunger, and they will not die of hunger. We are okay. I'm focusing on my job in Abuja, and all this sycophancy won't take him to the level I have attained. This is a man who wanted to run for president then. He didn't have the balls. He simply chickened out, simply because Obasanjo said no, he will not contest. He ran away. Because of him, I never invited Obasanjo to River State to commission projects. I felt it will humiliate him, Peter Odili. He said, Yobi, I will start with you. Now, what do you make of the back and forth? I hope you know what started this, the carol that Peter Odili organized in honor of the governor and some statements that were made. And now this is Wike returning the same gesture to Peter Odili. What do you make of the statement of Wike?
Okay. I want to start by saying that I am highly disappointed that two former governors of the state, these great states, can reduce themselves to the level of what we call in Igbo language, meaning unnecessary verbal exchange of you know. I think that there are so many things that the state is facing right now that should be our utmost concern. If I want to start with Odili as the former governor of River State, he has been there for 8 years. He had his challenges, he had his benefits, and I think that by now, what he should be doing is to be critiquing that office of the governor, to be able to say, if I had opportunity of being there again, this is what I'm going to do, this is what I'm going to do. But because I don't have that opportunity, come, you governor, that are there now, see this thing, do like this, see this thing, do like this. And that thing is just a suggestion, should be exploited.
Advisory rule.
Just advisory. Odili as a person shouldn't be, to me, should not be dragged into this type of low-level conversation. I mean, you shouldn't be. Then, I don't want to believe that all that the immediate past governor Nyesom Wike has said about Odili is entirely true, even though there are evidences pointing to the fact that...
So which part of it is not true?
I mean, what I mean is that I don't want to believe that Odili, yes, he praised Nyesom Wike when Nyesom Wike was there. He praised him so much to the high heavens, and now another governor is there. He's still praising. I think that is the trademark of every politician. That's what they do. You praise the one that is in power so that you can remain relevant. But from what Wike has said now, it has also raised some questions about how Wike used what is supposed to be
River State resources.
River State resources to pacify a man who he cannot even hold to account. So the whole argument, the whole back and forth is something that I think is not in the interest of Rivers people. So I think that both Odili and Odili at this point, as an elder statesman, should, if you ask me, retrace his step backward and restrict himself to that advisory role that the elder statesman should. Stop praising any of these governors. I don't know what you are praising Nyesom Wike for. Neither do I know what you are praising.
If you say you don't know what he's praising them for, Nyesom Wike in his statements has, opened some can of worms, even though some of them are actually open secrets. That was why when you were speaking, I asked you, when you said you don't want to believe everything is true, I now asked which part of them is not true. Even though you said some of these things, the evidences are there. Yeah. Which means they are open secrets. It's just that he's now concretizing what Rivers people already know by saying these things out. Now, when you say Peter Odili should not be praising every governor, that comes into power. Now, when you look at it, when you compare what Wike has said so far and, or you analyze what Wike has said so far with the position of Peter Odili has been taking, from the time of Nyesom Wike, wouldn't you say it is this action based on what he intends to benefit or what he's going to benefit or what he benefits from the incumbents?
I think that what Odili is doing, Odili is more like a businessman who wants to trade in political power. If I praise this current governor,
I'll benefit from it.
I'm going to get. If I want to be relevant, I must be in the good books of this government. Odili understand the fact that power has gone out of the former governor's hand. He's an appointee, he can be sacked at any moment. So he wants to pitch his tent with the person who has power, who can control certain things to certain level. If you look at Odili, you notice that he's no longer very prominent in national politics, whether it's in the PDP or any of the political parties. He's no longer that very, very prominent, very, very good, but rather he's concentrating all his arsenal in Rivers State, making sure that any governor that comes on board, he is in good terms with that governor, so that his own trade, his own
will continue to flourish.
Look
All right.
Look at what Nyesom Wike is saying about how
100 people per session.
Single-handedly sponsored.
Let me do a quick maths on that. 100 people per session, and that is 5 million.
That's about 5 billion
per student.
5 billion naira
yes.
per session from Rivers. So interesting.
Another 5 billion naira.
All right.
So I think that it's even something that the current governor should even investigate. If we are living in a Senate times, you can't use state resources.
How is the current governor going to investigate a man that is supporting?
That's why I said if we're in a Senate client, you can't use state resources to sponsor private enterprise. It doesn't work that way. We live in a country where people use state resources to patronize political godfathers to the detriment of the people. You are using students that are paying 5 million naira per session. You are sponsoring 100. How many have they sponsored in Rivers State University? How many have they sponsored in the Chamari Polytechnic? How many have they sponsored in the Kings of the World Polytechnic? How many have they sponsored even in Ignition University? That's a state-owned university. How many have you sponsored there?
All right.
Do we have any data showing that the state government paid XYZ amount for XYZ number of students? The students in Rivers State get bursary. Are they still getting bursary?
All right. All right. Very well. Akmefle, what do you make of this story?
I have a lot to say about this story.
Go ahead.
First and foremost, each time I come here and I discuss politics, I would always say that politics is political and it's all about interest. As far as you remain a politician, everything you do is all about your interest first, and then perhaps the interest of the people around you. You know, so for our elder statesmen, first, it was not too necessary to begin to come to the fore to discuss themselves and make whatever they have had in the secret to the public. I think is not very necessary. However, we are human beings. When somebody makes some jest about you, you know, or put up some things about you in public, and you keep quiet, of course, you know, silence is always seen to be
assent.
Yes. So, if His Excellency Nyesom Wike had kept quiet, it would have probably meant that almost everything the former governor, Dr. Peter Odili, has said about him were true. But come to look at this, we all were here when Wike became governor of Rivers State. Prior before the emergence of Wike as governor, Dr. Peter Odili was nowhere to be found in Rivers State. In fact, he was chased away from Rivers State by his political godson, Rotimi Amechi. You know, it was Wike who brought him back to Rivers State. And at the time he came back to Rivers State, it was seemed to me like probably he had spent everything he got in the 8 years he was a governor. He had nothing. He had nothing. Even the Pamo hospital, everything was dead. The university was not functioning. There was no university. Pamo University as a dead and all that. So, but all these were all resuscitated by the support of Nyesom Wike. Of course, you know how Nyesom Wike became governor, and Rotimi Amechi fought him, even to the point where he refused to even allow him to be sworn in. They had to even borrow a chief judge from Bayelsa State and all those stuff. So when he became governor, it was like a payback time. Those persons that Amechi had pushed away, had abandoned, let me bring them back to fight Amechi. That was how he even had to go to amend a law in the State Assembly. You know, the Supreme Court said Omeha was never governor, and so Amechi never recognized Omeha as governor of Rivers State, and as such, he was not paid pension. His pictures are not there as a former governor. So the moment Wike came into power, he brought in Dr. Odili, he brought in Omeha, he brought in so many persons who had problem with Rotimi Amechi. That was how Assembly passed that bill. He paid Omeha all the monies that he was supposed to have received for the number of years Amechi was governor, the allowance as a former governor. He paid it to Omeha, you know, reinstituted him as a former governor, put his picture in government house and all that. Now, for Dr. Odili, he made sure that Pamo University was re-established, and the first students that were pushed to that school were from River State. Of course, you remember, some students who were in scholarship overseas were brought back. And he said, rather than spending this money in overseas country, let us spend this money in our own state. And so some of them who came back were sent back to Pamo, and new persons were also, given admission in Pamo. So he did almost everything to see that Dr. Peter Odili, like he used the word, came back to life. Of course, we all know that, you know. Then, for Dr. Peter Odili to begin to now talk against such kind of persons. Yes, I know he also played a role for Nyesom Wike. You know, Nyesom Wike has over time told Nigerians that his second tenure as local government chairman was made possible by Odili and his wife. You know, so probably he was like trying to pay back to them what they have done for him, which was not wrong. I think it wasn't wrong. But in this time now, for Dr. Odili to begin to, because maybe Wike is having a political crisis or having a solid political relationship with his political son, and you now want to use that as an advantage to continue to reap from this governor, I think it was wrong. No matter what Wike must have done to him, I think that what Dr. Peter Odili should have been doing, like my brother said, is to be playing that advisory role. From the behind, you talk to this person, you talk to this person, and other. From the point they had that meeting with the President Ahmed Tinubu, from that point, Dr. Peter Odili started going haywire against Nyesom Wike, and I think it's wrong. You were in a meeting, you were invited in that meeting, probably because of your statesmanship. And you should have played that statesmanship role, you know. But the moment you pulled out from that meeting, you said you refused to sign because of this and that. You shouldn't have done that. You were not the only statesman who attended that meeting. So you should have at least played from the behind. Make sure, it should have been his responsibility to see that these two political grandsons
does not even get to the level
at all. That should be his role. I think it should be his role. And so having had the opportunity to organize a carol, which, like Wike said, he has been organizing even when he was governor. So you had that opportunity. Perhaps that was an avenue to also collect for the Christmas. You know, government is an elephant meat. Anybody who has opportunity, you cut your own and go. You know, so if that was what he had in mind, you should have quietly finished that program, and perhaps whatever the governor had given to you, you enjoy it like he's been enjoying with his family. Why now trying to play the sycophantic role as a leader? That was wrong. Because that, for me, was sycophantic. Nyesom Wike used the right word. That was sycophantic. That if he hadn't said he made that statement, no, he would have still collected what he had wanted to collect. And nobody would question him. Now, why playing that role? So I think it was wrong. And for me, as a politician, whenever anybody talks anything about you and you don't respond, it is wrong. So Nyesom Wike was right to have responded. And of course, you know, when you do somebody something, when you want to respond, it will be very, very dangerous. You want to go extra mile, you know. So, but I think that going forward, these elder statesmen need to sheath their swords. We need peace in the state.
We'll still come to that.
So that's what I think.
Before we come to the elder statesmen sheathing their swords and their actions and inactions, because we x-ray even the activities of the elder statesmen, the ex-governors.
Yeah.
Probably Peter Odili, it's not been a secret, the position of ex-governors in Rivers State in this crisis.
Yeah.
However, the only thing is that they have not really come out to make it public. But if you are in Rivers State, you already know the position of some of the ex-governors. Well, we'll come to that, actually. But before we get to that, I want to x-ray the major statements that Odili made that Wike is responding to. Mm-hmm. And that is the fact that Odili said that that Fubara stopped Wike from, turning Rivers State into his private estate. Now, the writer here says, your wife, daughters, and government. Wike slams Odili. Now, Wike is coming back to do more of an expose, probably to, say, in between this, can Peter Odili say what I am accusing Wike of?
He's not also.
I am not also part of it, considering, how the wife has benefited, as a result of the good favors that Odili has enjoyed with Nyesom Wike. And then Wike also went further when he was speaking. He talked about the commissioner for health.
Yes.
That is the daughter of Peter Odili, yes. And how Peter Odili swapped the slot of his elder brother's son to replace with his daughter, and then made the daughter commissioner. Yeah. So to a large extent, we would want to say that Peter Odili is not, how do you accuse someone when you are, or let me rephrase it, when they say when you come to equity, you come with clean hands.
Yes.
Would one say that to a large extent, going by the benefits Peter Odili has reaped, not as a function of his office as a governor, but because of, how he has related with Wike in the past, what he has reaped, can he say he's not culpable of what he's accusing Wike of?
He cannot. He cannot. That's exactly what I'm saying. We in the behavioral sciences, that's what we call ambidexterity. In ambidexterity, there are two major indexes in ambidexterity. You talk about the exploration and exploitation. And these two things work hand in hand. Just like they say traditionally, when the right washes the left should also wash the right. That's what I see in such kind of relationship. But when it gets out of hand to the point where one begins to tell what one has done and all that, I think it is no governor in Rivers State, and even outside Rivers State, has finished and left as governor, and they didn't have some things they gained from government. Whether I call it land, you call it houses, you call it whatever, call it political position and all that. No governor, every governor, whether here or outside Nigeria, the moment you have an opportunity to put your cronies or family members or whatever, they have all done that. They have all done that. So for Dr. Odili to begin to say Wike is making Rivers State his estate, his personal estate. When Amechi was governor, I cannot sit here and to be able to tell you, as I am a Rivers man, I've been in this system for a very long time. I know all the properties he also acquired from Rivers State properties. He got for himself. I also know political positions he also ceded to people who are very close to him. And so Wike too is not also out of the same game. They all did the same.
Right.
Now, in this case now, Dr. Peter Odili found himself now to be very close to the incumbent governor, and perhaps sees himself as a father, because since Nyesom Wike, who actually made him governor, is no longer there, so Odili now has been replaced as both the political father in Rivers State and his political whatever it is. And so he sits in that position. So he's now appropriating almost everything to himself. Why would it be that the daughter, the second daughter, has been appointed as a appeal court judge? The second daughter, appeal court judge. Your first daughter,
very young,
commissioner for health.
She should be the youngest judge.
It could be. It could be. Your wife is the chairman of a board in Rivers State Government Council, Rivers State University. You are now the former governor said, you are now the what is the word he used?
They call the general overseer.
You're not the general overseer, overseeing every day, everything. You now command what happens in River State. It is just very simple. He should have just sat quietly, knowing that he's very culpable. That action, those actions are wrong. Okay, for example, when Wike was mentioning the issue of the daughter becoming commissioner for health, I was seated there in that church. I was there. He didn't just say, your daughter, you exchange, he called somebody. He mentioned the name, Desmond Nakawo, ambassador, you were there, you were there. It means that he has somebody who was there when the thing was happening. He said, Ambassador Desmond, you were there, you were there. Okay, so there was an agreement that they should appoint the nephew who just lost his father. And perhaps that should have been an avenue to, helping the family. And that was the agreement. At the end, you turn back and say, no, leave him, take my daughter. How much would your daughter gain that you've not gained from the PAMO they've given to you? Or you've gotten, this one is in appeal court, your wife is here in UST, and all that. There is nothing he's looking for. Even the amount of money the daughter will be getting as commissioner, they can get it from PAMO and say, okay, you go and head this or head anywhere. You make the same money, give that opportunity to another person. For me, that was greed. That was greed. Any politician who does that, in fact, where I'm coming from now, one of my brother who is a leader in my world under this simplified movement, just nominated almost all his boys to work with my local government chairman. This morning somebody told me that he nominated his daughter, his first daughter, who has never known anything in politics. He's not even here. I've never seen him in my own community. He's nominated as a supervisor in local government. That is sheer wickedness. In fact, I shouted there and I walked away because I didn't want to have any issue with people. Because they will go and tell him and I will talk to him when I see him. This is sheer wickedness. And this is what almost all these politicians are doing. Leaving those who have even suffered. Some persons go out for campaigns. Some bring their money. Some take risk. At the end, these guys who have suffered will not gain anything. They will begin to appropriate to their own families. Some of their families' children are abroad. Like this one now is abroad. They are bringing her back to come and become a supervisor in a local government. She has never played any role. Why must we continue to do like this? And tomorrow night, that same man will be the one who will be abusing somebody. Knowing full well that he has played a lot of roles that he's not even supposed to be seen anywhere in public talking. So I think that Dr. Peter Odili shouldn't have even by any means begin to look for, when you want to exculpate issues that you know that you have challenges, you know that thing you are doing will affect you. This issue has not ended. Of course, Nyesom Wike, any day he has opportunity again to be in any function, he will say more. He has already promised you that he just started, that he has cost him those, that he just started. So I think that we need to, do things knowing that we have a tomorrow, especially when you are in public position, in the eyes of the public. We politicians, there are things we do that we need to be careful of because of our tomorrow. All
right, very well. Joby, you were clearing your throat, so I know you have a lot to say.
Yes, I just want to take it off from where my colleague has stopped. As a person who has a lot of respect for the former governor, Peter Odili, and I think that he should have been more careful in delving into matters between the current governor and the immediate past governor, knowing fully well that all that he's saying is not saying out of an objective mind. He's not saying it because he loves River State so much. He's saying it because of, I think, what it stands to benefit. That's why he's saying what he's saying. And whenever you do anything with ulterior motive, there is tendency for those that you are dealing with to come back to say worse things. For instance, you can if you know who Nyesom Wike is. Nyesom Wike is a man that I describe as a man that does not have shame. That's how I describe him. He doesn't have shame. He can say things that both of you said in the bedroom. He will come out in the public and say it. Okay, look at what he's saying. Oh, that when he was the governor, there was his pictures everywhere in Odili's house. And if you go to Odili's house, you will see his pictures. You will see it. You will see all those things that he was talking about. Your wife is this, your children is this, your this one is this one, your that one is that one. All those matters shouldn't be something that should be in the public domain. Yes, we know that these things happen, but it shouldn't be something that will be a subject of discussion.
Is this not a case of what Igbos will call onye kparankwa ahụhụ, like when you bring
That's what-
ant-infested firewood.
that's what I'm- that's what I'm-
Really go to fetch ant-infested firewood.
That's what
into
I'm
his
saying.
house.
That's what I'm saying.
And now the lizard has come to
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. That Odili, as an elder statesman, should have known the person he's dealing with, and then should have known how to talk. Just like Nyesom Wike said, if the governor if you have organized a Christmas carol for the governor, you should have collected what you want to collect from the governor and then stayed on your own instead of calling my name there. And I remember that nobody, since Nyesom Wike left office as a governor, nobody has mentioned his name in a way that he doesn't like, that he has kept quiet. He has taken swipe at the governor. He has taken swipe at secondos. Now he's facing Odili. And I'm sure that any other person who also mentions his name in that manner, he will also take a swipe at the person. But what is the danger in what is happening? The danger in what is happening is that governance will be distracted. That's the danger in what is happening. The governor will now begin to be more careful or begin to fight the air instead of facing governance. And I want to advise the governor of Rivers State, Siminala Ifobara. Personally, I have not been satisfied with the way the governor has carried on.
We'll still get to that.
I have not been satisfied. So he should just not allow all these sycophantic praises to get into his head, that he has stopped the former governor from appropriating the state as a personal estate and stuff like that. Because even all of them, when he was there as a governor, what was his trademark? He was called Keziah because he was sharing the money. Yes, he was sharing money to churches and then leave governance. And just like Wike was saying, what can he boast of? And so I think that it's an insult for anybody to occupy the office of a governor for 8 years and somebody have the nerve to come out and say, for 8 years that you became a governor, what can you point at?
But then, to a large extent, you know, when Peter Odili was speaking, Izejobi, he said that Simlaye Fubara in 1 year has done more than governors in 8 years. What he means is, by extension, Simlaye, because when he was saying that, probably he was saying it as an attack on Wike.
As far as I'm concerned.
Being the fact that he's called Mr. Project, forgetting that he also governed for 8 years. So by that statement, he's telling the world, or he's telling Simlaye Fubara that, Governor, in 1 year, you have done more than I have done in 8 years.
As far as I'm concerned, Odili is progressing in error. Odili is trading in a dangerous route. What Odili is doing will eventually bring him down. Why? Because Odili will not always be in good terms with this current governor.
Why do you say that?
Because that is a trademark of all the governors I know. See, since 1999 to date, there has not been any governor in this state who is in good terms with his predecessor. There has not been anyone. So, this one that...
Amechi and Odili
pick up a fight. Odili and Amechi and Wike pick up a fight. Now, in fact, the fight between Wike and Fubara came later than I predicted. As a person, I predicted that they are going to fight after 3 months. That's what I predicted. But they extended it to about 5 months before the fight started. You know, because I know that
before he manifested,
yes. So that's why I think Odili should restrict himself to elder statesman. And if I were to be Odili, now that he had trampled upon now that he had taught the tail of a tiger in the person of Nyesom Wike, for Odili to maintain his sanctity and to maintain his integrity as an elder statesman, at this point, I will advise that Odili should advise both the daughter and the wife to leave this government.
Leave this government?
Yes.
All right. How practical is this?
That is the way.
What you just said now, how practical?
It's just to resign from the government and face your private business. That is how you can, except he's telling me that I respect him so much. Except he's telling me that he's a man that doesn't have integrity. If you have integrity, and this your predecessor is bringing out things that all of us know, but it's in the secret. All of us know it, even though we know it, it's in the secret. Now he's putting it the best way to show that you have integrity, that you want to walk the streets and get cheers, get applause from the people, is for you to say, okay, fine. I'm not in this government. Let me stay as my...
when more secrets are going to come out?
No. Even if more secrets are coming out, by the time the secrets are coming out, you have already retraced your step. You cannot beat your chest and say, yes, even though I was like this, I am now like this.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, before we move over to the next story, Akume Philip, final question. Why are you laughing? Final question. Nyesom Wike, when he was speaking, the FCT minister said something that I found very interesting. Yes. And that appears to be a recurrent decimal in people who appear to be very close to the governor. And to a large extent, that even makes me question their loyalty to the governor. When the FCT minister was speaking about Peter Odili, Dr. Peter Odili, he said that when he was plotting, I'm using his language, when he was plotting to bring Fubara to, take over from him, that Peter Odili was against Fubara's emergence. And one of the things he said is, who is this man? Why are you bringing a man who cannot even address people in public? And you recall that during the campaign season, Wike literally campaigned for the governor. The governor said little or nothing. I mean, people were yearning to have him talk about what he intended to do and all of that, and we didn't see that happen. So to a large extent now, after all said and done, Fubara emerged against his will, and now suddenly he is now, Fubara's political father and all of that. The question is, I am actually bothered about the quality of persons, surrounding the governor, because what has been recurrent is that the people who fought him, the people who fought his emergence are now the people who are with him. I don't know what that might entail politically, but do you think to a large extent this is why the crisis in Rivers State is not ending?
Okay, first and foremost, as far as politics is concerned, there will always be misunderstanding. It is not unique to Rivers State. If you go to so many other states,
Benue State,
they are all everywhere. They're there. So you see, whatever seed you sow will definitely germinate, and you get the same results. You cannot sow a corn and you reap a beans. We talked it here that when Amechi became governor, there were a lot of persons he chased away who were not very close. He may not have chased them physically, but knowing that they know that the body language of the governor doesn't mean that they should stay around him, they all ran to Abuja. Same thing happened when Wike was governor. When Wike was governor, he went and looked for those persons who were not very close to Amechi. He brought them very close. That was how these Odili, Omehadem and all that. And second, all of them came around. Now, the current governor, is having problem with Nyesom Wike. So, if you look around the current government today, see the likes of Uche Secondus, Austin Okpara, Omeha, and all of them, Lee Meba and all of them. These were the persons who fought the emergence of the governor.
So it's a trend.
You can see it. They never wanted the governor. In fact, they supported Atiku against Nyesom Wike's presidential ambition, and never wanted Sim, because they were saying, how would we serve Wike will come and serve his boy again and all that. They never wanted him. So, but the moment Sim became governor and started having this crisis with Nyesom Wike, he went and brought all of them. And that is, to an extent, one of the reasons why the former governor, is not happy. So you are not using those people who fought you, who never wanted to see you. Like he said, Odili said, why would he even bring this boy who cannot even make speeches in public? But today, these are the persons who are around him enjoying. For me, that is also politics.
Okay.
You understand?
Yep.
Whatever that will make our former governor used to sing one song. Yeah, see they pen them, you gotta sweet us. I see they sweet us, you gotta pen them. When you are doing politics, those persons you think that are not with you, you do everything to make them not comfortable. That's exactly what is happening. However, I think that our governor is not doing very, very well. See, I used to be against Nyesom Wike before now. I was always on this studio. Then we were not here. I was always here on the radio talking against him. Almost in every radio I was talking against him because I was director NGO for Senator Magnus. So I was almost everywhere. See, him never came out anywhere to talk, and we were hitting him. You know, Nyesom Wike, if I had wanted to work with Nyesom Wike, I wouldn't be here today. I said, no, I don't like Nyesom Wike. But suddenly, somehow, I had to sit back. I started studying this man, Nyesom Wike. First, he's a very, very high strategist. Nyesom Wike is a strategist. Nyesom Wike can sit in the comfort of his house and mention the names of every politician from world in the 20 local government areas in his house. He knows everybody. He knows what everybody can do. He knows your strength in politics. That's one. Number two, no matter what you do, Nyesom Wike, the moment Nyesom Wike comes in terms with you, he forgets the yesterday. If you look at some persons who have fought Nyesom Wike in 2015 and 2019, after 2019 election, came and joined him. Today, they are all holding big positions made possible by him. If it were like people like Rotimi Amechi who doesn't forgive people, they wouldn't even have that opportunity. Look at the list now. Look at the last of Ojukaye, all the way to Yesu. All these persons were arch enemies to Nyesom Wike before 2019. They made after 2019. These guys, that even those who are just coming back recently as he became ministers, the moment you go back to him or you had a problem with him, and after reconciliation, he doesn't remember the past. He will entrust you with a very important. So I think that the governor should look for whatever it takes to see that there is a reconciliation between him and his political godfather. Because the moment that happens,
are we not past that?
No, we can still. It's a political solution.
Political solution.
We can still go back to whatever solution, as far as it will bring peace to Rivers State.
All right.